Everybody knows that comedians like Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Bert Kreischer, and Dave Chappelle all make millions of dollars a year doing stand-up comedy. But how do they actually collect and make those millions? And also, how much did they make before they were famous, when they were nobodies? Well, who better to answer that than me, a nobody? As an unknown comedian that opens for big headliners, I'll be able to tell you exactly how much your favorite comedians make, so that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much the income level is for a comedian that's at the height of their career when it's very large, all the way down to an unknown comedian when their career is very
small. Really small.
But instead of doing this the boring way where you just sit there and listen to me talk, I'm actually going to take you on the road. But we have a problem. I'm really fucking late. So right now I'm currently in Texas driving to a gig that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I left way too late and now I'm battling rains and thunderstorms to get there on time. So far in my comedy career, I've opened for comedians like Pablo Francisco, Pauly Shore, Jeff Dye, K. Trevor Wilson, Hans Kim, and performed on shows with Patton Oswalt, Jeremy Piven. Right now I'm on the road to Tulsa getting paid $50 to host a comedy competition. My challenge today is that when I get paid 50 big ones to host this comedy competition, my goal is to get something in my pocket so that I end up back at home with some kind of profit for traveling and doing this comedy show. Right now, time is ticking and I've already stopped for gas. Will I make it? We'll find out. I stopped for gas because I had to. I had a bag of Gardettos, beef jerky, and then I ran back in the car. And I hate it when I put myself in these stressful positions because right now it's looking like I may or may not get to the venue exactly on time. The going rate for this gig is a little unique because I'm hosting a comedy competition. It's not a typical comedy show. This kind of gig in the industry is called a one-nighter because it's only one night that you're doing the gig and that's what you're getting paid for and performing, just one single show and one single night instead of a whole weekend where you can have anywhere from 2 all the way up to 5 or 6 shows depending on who the headliner is and how long the weekend is at the comedy club. It's extra different and stressful because, you know, I'm leaving my family for a day, I'm going out, I'm doing the show, and then I'm driving home because I don't really want to stay in a hotel. I don't want to stay overnight and spend extra money. So it's all a big, stressful ordeal. I'm going to get home super late. This is life on the road, baby. A comedian by the name of Matt Rife performed here several months prior. We'll get to estimating exactly how much money he made in a moment. Comedy at the working level, i.e., non-famous, unknown people like Dave Chappelle or Louis C.K., there's a fixed tier and a fixed industry for how much comedians make. And that's split into 3 tiers, especially at the working level. And that's host, feature, and then headliner. Host, typically you're going to make per show anywhere from $25 to $50 depending on the budget of the club and how much they actually want to pay you. Up next is your feature act, who's typically going to do twice as much time as the host does, and they're typically going to get paid anywhere from $50 to $100 plus per show, once again, depending on the kind of show it is, the kind of headliner it is, and how much the club feels like paying you. The most important thing that you need to know about comedians' income level is... Hold on, 1 second. Hi! Get out of here! Don't you hate that? But now, let's get back to how I'm doing on the road.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. See, that's the problem. There's no freeway traffic. It's just all these traffic lights. It's like 3, 4, 5 traffic in a row that I have to back up. That's what's gonna make me late to the f***ing club. Lesson number 1 in comedy. Leave for the f***ing gig early enough. You'd think I know that simple lesson by now. Apparently not.
Now, headliner is probably the biggest sliding scale in the industry because it depends on how famous the headliner is, i.e. how many tickets you can sell either in advance or the day of the show. Headliners are paid in 2 different ways. If they have a big following and the club and everybody is very confident that a lot of people are going to go see them, then they will have what is called a door deal. That guarantees them to anywhere from usually 75% all the way up to 100%, depending once again on the clout and pull of the headliner, that percentage of every ticket sale. So if Bill Burr were to take a step down and go perform at a comedy club again with his draw and fame level, if he demanded that people paid $50 per ticket, he could have a door deal that any club nationwide would easily give him where he would get 100% of every one of those $50 tickets to see him at that club. In this situation, the club does not mind at all because they know every single show they're going to make a ton of money on the drinks and food and beverage sales. Now, let's say a comedian is a headliner, but they aren't as famous, or they're not famous at all yet, just like I would be if I headlined.
Man, you're nobody, bro. What the hell do you know about headlining?
In that case, headliners usually get what's called a minimum guarantee. They get a fixed amount of money to perform for the weekend, regardless of how many people do or don't show up. Usually that amount is anywhere from $1,000 all the way up to $2,500. Once again, depending on the club, the culture of the management, and how much the club wants to pay him. Now, remember when I was talking about Matt Rife and how much money he made when he performed in the same city of Tulsa, Oklahoma a few months prior to me being here?
All right, just pulled in. It's time to run in.
Luckily, the show was running a little behind schedule anyway, so I was able to sneak into the green room and take care of some really important business.
Best part of the green rooms are the private bathrooms, baby. Nothing like that long haul tinkle after that stressful ride, baby.
Got to read over the notes and like who to bring up and how long the sets are, how long my set is. Show's gonna start right now. I got to go out there.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, what's up? Make some noise.
I was really glad I made it to the show on time, but now I have a long trip home ahead of me. Now my challenge is to get home while not spending too much money on gas so I can get back with money in my pocket. And so I don't fall asleep at the wheel, I had to stop and spend some money on a coffee for that long drive.
Dude, what the It keeps fluctuating back between 0 and 1 mile's difference, dude. This is freaking me the out. I seriously don't know if I'm gonna make it home or not.
Now, back to how much money Matt Rife made. When he performed at a large venue like this, he's charging anywhere from $70 all the way up to over $100 per ticket to see him. At a 2,500 plus seat venue, you can do the math as to how much he's gonna have. But he does have some big problems set out when he plays big venues like this. The Comedy Club is the venue that's specifically designed for people to come and see comedy. Everybody goes there expecting to see comedy, and the business is set up to do so. The headliner comedian makes a lot of money off those ticket sales, and there's very little overhead because they're performing in a venue that's designated for that kind of entertainment. Unlike a big venue that comedians at Matt Rife's level play, food costs, venue costs, staffing, staging, lighting, concessions, all of the expenses are on them. Still, it's a paycheck that no comedian would complain about putting in their pocket. Now, going back to my world and income level as a comedian, did I make it home with any money?
All right, so I stopped for gas. I had to, bro. I was 1 mile away. You kidding me? I'm gonna get stranded at like 2:30 in the morning. I have to like call my wife to put the kids in the car and pick me up from a gig. Dude, you kidding me? Forget it.
I'm very interested to see where the industry is going. I think it's headed in a completely different direction, and that everything in the world of stand-up comedy is sincerely about to change. That's what I cover in this video right here.